And I actually recognize a lot of you in the room, so thank you. And Gordy, thank you for all your work within Como as well, within volunteering, so appreciate that. But just kind of a brief overview. Mike asked me to kind of hit some few bullet points, so I'll do that, but feel free to ask questions, or I'll say if anything comes up from any other community members, if they have any questions, feel free to let me know. On the last side, it has my contact information, so you're welcome to share that out to anyone. But you'll also be able to find that on the city website as well. So just kind of a brief overview is I'm the volunteer coordinator for our St. Paul Natural Resources team, which is a section of St. Paul Parks and Recreation. So St. Paul Parks and Recreation is kind of like the big umbrella. There's a lot of different things that fit under the umbrella. One is rec services. When we think of Parks and Rec, right, you think recreation. I'm not in that. I'm based out of our operations division, and I focus solely on our natural resources. So that is our neighborhood parks and regional parks, more kind of natural areas, but then also some of the ornamental gardens that are around the city as well. I am a team of one out of a team of 5 full-time staff that maintain kind of our natural areas around St. Paul. So that's a little bit about us. Mike asked to say a little bit about my professional background. I guess real brief, I've been with the city for now going on about 7 years. Before that, I was up in the Fargo-Moorhead area working in similar type of work within Parks and Rec and doing programming and volunteer coordination up that way. But by trade, I'm a teacher. So I got my license in teaching and taught for a long time, and then shifted back into rec. Recreation was always my kind of my go-to summer job, right? Teachers always need extra jobs, unfortunately. So that was my job, and then it kind of made my full-time job. So I've been doing it for a very long time, and it's exciting to continue to work with a lot of the different residents around St. Paul. So very happy about that. Some of the things that I'm responsible for, like I said, is I coordinate and work with a variety of people. That can be individuals, but it can also be groups of people as well, either in public events group-wise or private events. And so some of the opportunities kind of lend itself to kind of what I'm responsible for. My job is to recruit, communicate, do all the things when it comes to volunteerism for our parks. I will note that my position is grant funded with the city, and my grant is specifically for regional parks in St. Paul. So that is most of my focus. That's why I say kind of the natural areas, because you're going to see more natural areas than turf, right? When we talk natural versus turf, you'll see me working in more of the regional parks, but that does not mean that I don't carve out a little bit of time for kind of our ornamental type gardens, would happen to be more neighborhood parks. So kind of in your, or like close to you guys, like a Horton Park or something like that, I would assist within volunteerism that way. And so I kind of do everything when it comes to volunteers. I'm either getting people signed up, communicating with district councils, talking to downtown, talking to volunteers, we work with a lot of partner organizations, just because we are a small but mighty team. And so I help coordinate a lot of that activities. And then that lends itself to the opportunities that we have within Como. And I know many of you have been actively involved in them who are at this meeting tonight. And so a few of the activities that are specific to the Como area or Como Park area is our Como Park Stewards, which is a new just in the last couple of years. And their responsibilities are to keep eyes and ears on the park, as well as to maintain and keep litter off of that. Maybe Gordy can talk a little bit more about that too, but they do a few other things, and we're going to tap Gordy to do a little bit extra stuff too. So, but they really are. We're not, I'm not out in the park as much. We've seen a really great interest from the community members in your district in order to help support this. And so it is really fun. So we do still have some parcels that are open that if people want to take those on to kind of be the eyes and ears and help maintain those, you'll find information on our website about that. Then we have our garden steward positions, which eventually might include like those rain gardens, right, that are new in those parking lots. It can, you know, I talk with a few of the rain garden stewards that are like those Churchill gardens. We take care of like the Como pool area. And we all know about Debbie's phenomenal garden along the path line there by the dockside over that way. So gardens tend to be more ornamental when I talk garden stewards versus like our natural areas. The natural area lends itself. Oh, I'll pause. Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
Alex, did you have a question?
Oh, Alex, your hand is raised if you, okay, go for it, Tricia.
Okay, I'll continue and let me know. And then kind of our more natural area type work is in the Como Woodland Outdoor Classroom. And those are volunteers that maintain parcels. Again, we kind of break it down so it's easy for people to maintain. But then they help remove kind of invasive plants. So a lot of the focus is on garlic mustard, burdock, some thistle, and then a few other type of plants that are specific to different plots. But those volunteers, I think like many of the top three that I've talked about are really you go on your own time. You know, there might be some training that comes along to that, especially if you're a novice to kind of some of the plants and workings of how things will be. We'll talk through that. We can meet you on site, go over like trainings together and make sure that you're kind of happy and understanding the goals and what needs to be done and understanding plant identification. But that one is kind of a fun one just because again, you get out, you get to explore your little parcel and help maintain it again on your own time when you have availability. And for that one, we do provide tools as well and safety vests for our volunteers to make sure that people know that they're supposed to be working in the park versus someone that's just removing mostly herbaceous plants from our parkland. And then the last one is our private groups. And you can see I included a picture. I also coordinate with either schools, nonprofits, for-profit community members, district councils, whoever it might be that wants to bring in a group of people to do some volunteer work within Como. And that can range again from anything of a trash pickup to weeding at the outdoor classroom. I included this picture was at the Como pool, right? They cut back all the things in the spring and then help weed it throughout. So you might see us out there. All the private groups come through me and then I funnel and I talk with my team of what is actually needed at the park and then work on the schedules from there. Private groups do require a minimum of 10 people to be on site, but we have taken up to 100 people at one time. And so we can provide that. Again, for those, we'll provide tools, staff, and kind of all the things that are needed for that. So a good way to do that is go to our website. There's a short application online, and then we can go from there and connect. But those are kind of our volunteer opportunities and how people can be active. Is you can either be one of those if you feel like I'm missing something or your community really wants to engage in a different way. Happy to take those requests and then either work with Shevik and the district council or and see what we can do to help provide some assistance. But those are the four that I've kind of thought of. I guess there is one more is that we're going to try this year as well is to do what we call, they're kind of drop-in events. So they're just open to the public, but we're going to try and do one, and I can email this out to everyone too that's on the meeting, or Mike, and is a drop-in event on Thursday, January 15th, starting at 5:30 to help weed out the Como Pool rain gardens right outside the Como Pool area.
June 15th?
Yeah, June 15th. Yep. And I'll email that out. And we're hoping to get about 10 people. I'll email out to the Como Park stewards and the garden stewards and the Quack stewards and see how many people are interested in coming out for that night. We'll have staff on site. Like I said, it'll just kind of be weeding. It'll be a fun, maybe a little gathering, get together of community members to help us get those gardens ready for summer here, and then yeah, move on. But those are kind of the opportunities that we have for Como and that we provide. And
Right.
then there's my contact information. So if you need anything, I provided my email address, and that's my office line number. You're welcome to email is probably the best way to get a hold of me, just because I can respond a little bit quicker, but you're welcome to call. And if I don't answer at the office, just leave a message.
Okay, great. Thank you. That was a really great presentation and with lots of information. And we thank you for working with us here in District 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Shada.
Tricia, do you work with the Midway Parkway gardeners at all?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So like those gardeners, like the Frankson and then the Midway and Aurora, like Jennifer and them that are going to start. I try to help them, and we provide, for the gardeners, we're not able to provide a lot, I would say, for our garden stewards, but we provide a little bit. So that comes in a form of like a mulch delivery that we can provide them. We have for garden stewards our Blooming St. Paul Day, which is happening May 19th and 20th, that I email out a special invite for people to come and pick up free ornamental plants for their city gardens. And so they can come to our greenhouse and pick those up. And so we do provide that opportunity. So I know those new garden stewards over there, I have reached out to them and contacted them.
Great.
That's neat.
Hey, Shevik, did you want to talk about the emails for the stewards? The Como Park stewards?
The emails for them?
Yeah, see if we can get those as well.
Oh, yeah, we've kind of historically been a partner on the Como Park Stewards, and we were wondering if we could get a contact list, because we've been talking for years about like co-hosting some sort of appreciation event, but I'm hesitant to start planning something like that without knowing that I at least have access to the list of gardens.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I get hesitation of sharing contact information without asking the individuals first. So I know I had reached out to Abby and Mike if we all want to sit down and plan something, happy to do so. And then I could reach out to the stewards and say, like, I'm going to share, can I share this information? If you don't want me to, I would remove them from the list. Without people's permission, I don't like to give out personal information. That's kind of my line, but happy to, do that for sure. We can start doing, because I know we want to do something to get the stewards, Como Park stewards together. It would be nice to meet, I get to see some of you now, like on this video, but I would like to meet everyone and say thank you in person as well.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. And I'll answer Alex's question. I don't know if I have the best example between a distinction between enhancement and regular maintenance of the park, right? The regular maintenance is going to be kind of your probably typical removing of tree limbs and things that are falling, or grass cutting, emptying garbage bins, kind of think of it, your regular, what the park maintenance people do. This is just in addition to that, right? Like on top of that. So a lot of people will report graffiti, right? That maybe our crews haven't had the chance to report yet or haven't seen. We've had incidents where there's like trees that are maybe blocking an intersection that maybe need to be cut down or something, or looked at. So I'm kind of that conduit to person that they can tell me the information, and then I can go from there to put it into the city online portal a little bit. So those are two things that I thought of, is like, what about these trees? What are they doing? They're kind of blocking road stuff. Is this your land? Is this not our land? And then graffiti is kind of a big one too.
Tricia, I have a couple questions. First of all, to parallel Abby, thank you for joining us, and also thank you for being a wonderful partner with the lake cleanup over the years.
Yeah.
I remember the first one we did in 2017 when we were scrambling. We had no tools or anything, and you were very helpful in pulling together the assortment of tools for us. So that first one was a success, so thank you for that. I've been telling people this, hopefully it's somewhat right, that you mentioned that your position's grant funded, and part of that is participation in events. So when people, for example, sign up for the lake cleanup afterwards, I provide you the numbers for that, and you're kind enough to enter that information into your database. Is that true that that your position is supported in some part by the numbers of our participants?
Yeah, we do. There's a few different measurables that I have to report to the Met Council. Numbers is usually one of them. What types of programs are out there is another. I try to also put in the impact that our volunteers make, because to me, you are more than just numbers and on a piece of paper. And so hence for the Como Park Steward position, there is an option to put like their estimated weight of trash online. Because I think that's valuable data to input for people to let us know what they're doing. And so, yes, I do use overall numbers, nothing that can connect to volunteers specifically, you know, to that, is I'm very cautious, like I'd mentioned earlier, sharing information. But yeah, I do report measurables to the Met Council biannually for my grant, for my position.
So for the record and for the minutes, I am correct.
Yes, yes, you are. You are correct. And I should also mention that, you know, there are the Como Lake cleanups. I help partner and I can help Mike partner, but I know those are District 10 run events. So I don't want to confuse people too. That's in addition to kind of the Como Park Steward role. That is the litter and more information, but those cleanups are, I want to make sure that they know that those can those go through you.
We are working our best to educate people, or at least make it easy to understand, and it's really difficult. I propose we put a moratorium on anything using the word Como in it going forward, but it's gotten nowhere. Maybe you can help support that. For the Debbie Smith Garden, since she moved out of the area, is she still maintaining that one?
Yep, she is.
What about the east gates? Because she also did those too.
Tom should be doing those as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, that's the last time I heard from that he was doing that as well. For the rain gardens, Angie Schechter, I think you have that name. She did the other one, the native garden ones that were there. So she might be somebody to reach out to as well. Do you have her email address?
I do, if it hasn't changed in the last few years, yeah.
To my knowledge, no.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll see. I think those gardens hopefully are still under contract for a little bit, you know, from our design and construction and the new construction in there. So they're gonna kind of let me know when that might be expiring and when we need to start facilitating and getting more people involved in those.
And when I was talking to the watershed district about it, the city has money in their budget for maintenance of that.
Good.
And so that if District 10 or anyone else helps with that, it should be offset. So, you know, we're not doing the city's work and the money's going to the city without that work. The watershed district didn't want that to overlap.
Yep.
If you were to ask, if we were to ask, okay, I am asking, what is your greatest need for volunteers in all the areas that you see?
In all areas?
That you oversee, yeah.
Ooh, if we're talking all parks, honestly, man, I think, you know, twofold. You could go one of two ways. So like I said, I'm a team of 5. We have 2 environmental service techs full-time for over 3,000 acres around St. Paul. And so then I would say like helping, we're trying to get this habitat steward, which is it's kind of similar to the Como Park woodland steward position, but a little different. So helping maintain kind of weeds and things like that, but also just litter pickup, right? I think our parks are really, they do a nice job, but it's always needed, right? Because there's cigarette butts, there's little bottles, there's little things that like our parks crews might miss. And so those are kind of I think the big ones is just maintaining and making sure that the litter is staying out of our parks.
And one last quick question. A few years ago, I asked about the sundial, and I can't remember who you referred me to. It was removed from Duck Point, and I'm wondering if for maintenance or restoration, I guess, because it was all broken up. Do you know if, I can't tell now, it's underwater, but do you know if that's been reinstalled or if there's a plan for that?
I don't know off the top of my head, so I would have to look into that and ask a few people about it.
No, that's okay. I just was curious. Thank you.
No,
That's it
I
for
don't.
me.
They don't inform me of everything.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. As much as I like to know a lot about everything, it just that's something that I don't know if I have the brain capacity right now for.
Hey, Tricia, there's a question in the chat.
Yeah,
Do
go
you
ahead.
see
And I
it?
know Gordy has one too. It looks like enhancements related to. Oh, labor, cost of materials. I guess I would need to know more about that. Why don't you just shoot me an email and then I can see what you're talking about, I guess. They want to donate more? Huh. I think I would need to know a little bit more, Alex, of what it's related to. And then we'll go from there.
Okay, you said, sounds good.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, shoot me an email. I can try and answer or find out information for what you need.
All right, Gordy, you're on mute. Oh, I do it all the
Okay,
time.
that'll be more quicker if I have enough mute on it. How caught up is the city on removing tree limbs? I mean, should things still be reported or are they caught up?
Ooh, good questions. I think I would still report. I know if you're talking like forestry work, I know they're trying to work as fast as they can. Flood has done a number on a lot of things. And so happy to continue to report and I'll let you know if it's on the agenda or done. It was like environmental services. I know the last couple days or today was focused on burning. You probably saw that around Como. So they're out there. So small stuff, once the burn season's done, then they can start getting on some of that other stuff.
Okay. What about buckthorn? What's happening there?
Oh yeah, we should talk about that, Gordy. Yeah, we can talk about that. I don't want to speak for them because I don't know what their plans are around that, but I know that's kind of an environmental thing. And I know we wanted to try and set up a time for your group to learn a little bit of the plant ID. So let's make sure we connect about that too. And then we can answer the buckthorn question at that time too.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to thank you, Tricia.
Yeah, welcome.
You can stay, feel free to stay or hop off, whatever
Okay,
you feel
thanks.
comfortable with.